Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the Doc, and you're tuned in to Hobby Talk. Shout out to Pristine Auction, my sponsors. They get down in the hobby business, man. I love their auctions and what they do. And to bring in a special guest of mine, a good friend as well. His content, what I consider is called it's transparency. He keeps it real, but also he keeps people informed. He keeps me informed. I learned a lot from this individual, not only from his content, but also being around him, and a great business individual and a veteran as well, man. Because we don't have too many veterans that showcase what you do. So Alex, Army Tag, ATC, man. What's going on, my brother?
Everything's going good, Daryl. Last time that I was with you was what out in California.
Yep.
Shout out to Rizzo Sports. Coming out there and everything. And uh, dude, I've been busy. The 2025 is starting off with a bang, right?
Right?
Going right at it. I mean, yourself, you too, Mr. Worldwide. I'm saying Mr. Worldwide, Mr. International here. I
Hey,
feel like
man.
do you have a Canadian citizenship yet? Like, you're up there all the time.
Man, it's almost there, man. I'm about almost there, yo. It's crazy. But
So
yeah, I'm definitely been back and forth a lot, and Canada has been amazing. Just Montreal and Toronto and being able to visit also Vancouver is just has been amazing overall. But to you, my brother, you've been moving. Um, First off, I want to back a little bit and get into who you are as an individual and as a collector. And not only that, have you represent this country very well in many ways. So let the people know.
Yep. So, of course, like I said, my name's Alex. People know me as Army ATC 22 or Army. Um, 22 years in the Army, retired in 2022, and 22 is out there. It's just out in the universe. It's my lucky number. Now, it just follows me around from when I was, back in school. It was the bus number I rode to school every year and everything to now. I did 22 years in the Army. And I retired in 2022. It's wild how it follows me. Like, seriously, that stuff, that universe is, the good vibes and everything's just coming out and stuff. And I tell you what, it follows me, so I stick with it all the time. Passionate collector, and heart, hobbyist. Love introducing new individuals to this crazy industry that we all love.
Yeah.
Um, and it's more educational, man. There's too much stuff out there these days that you can go quickly online. This is a prime example. Go quickly online. You're going to see these $1,000, $2,000, $10,000 cards out there, right? And
Yeah.
you go to your Target and you think you can pull one of those cards out of a blaster out of Target, right? The rarity of being able to do that is so minute. Like, those cards are usually come from those expensive boxes. So,
Mm-hmm.
just getting that simple information out there, right? You'd be like, hey, all right, this is what you should be doing. What are you looking to collect a certain thing? Are you looking to try to find value? Because there's that line. People want to be flippers, people want to be collectors, people want to be this and that. And guess what? It's all okay. It's all okay. That this hobby and this industry we have, it's for everybody. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean they like it or don't like it, and vice versa and everything, right?
Right.
So I collect, Pat Tillman, my Army service and everything else like that. I wanted to latch on to one person for collecting, and of course, his sacrifices and his selfless service. I feel like, I have some of those, traits inside me myself. And so I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna collect, my boy Pat Tillman. He doesn't have too much stuff out there, but when he does, he has, thanks to Panini, has 80 million parallels. So finding those rainbows and those cards are the fun in the hunt. So, like, if you're not hunting PC stuff, like, there's random PC stuff I'll come across and be like, okay, I have to have that. Like, that is cool. Like,
Definitely.
I'm picking that up, and I'm gonna have that for a long time. Like, I mean, the example is all the card artists these days. Like some of the cool nostalgia stuff that these guys are putting out there. Card Carver and Zach. Collector Creative and Piggy Banks to Saturday Morning Cards. All of them are putting out some cool nostalgic type of stuff that we resonate to, and it's just I just soak it all in and I enjoy it because um, getting back into this industry and this hobby back in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up when I was a kid with my dad getting packs and going to little card shows locally and the LCS, and then it just like nothing. I was just like straight Men in the Black. They freaking warped, took, wiped my mind, and there was nothing between, there and then like 16 years ago. I think I learned that about puberty and girls, and I was just like, that's nerdy. I'm staying away from it when I was a kid, right? That's what I tell everyone. I got into sports and dealing that stuff, and I got away from it.
Right.
But I found the passion again. Went through a hard time, went
Mm-hmm.
through divorce, and and found cards through online community on YouTube. That's where I first really started back as an adult, and
Right.
that account's still up. 16 years later, you can see videos, grainy, really bad quality videos, but because the cameras have evolved, of course, right? And
Mm-hmm.
some of my biggest pulls, some of my greatest memories from other collectors in the YouTube card community are from 16 and 15 years ago, and it's just evolved to instead of long form now I do more short form stuff and
Right.
enjoying jumping around and quick, fast, and hurry and having fun, and I anything I make online
Mm-hmm.
is something I feel I would want to watch myself. And that's why I put it out there. No agendas, nothing, minus the fact I think this is cool. And guess what? If you can't be there, now you can through my eyes.
I love it. I love it, man. It's because I definitely see your grind. I definitely see like who you are through just your content, and I think you also are relatable in many ways. People can take many different parts of you. You're not just a one trick pony is what some people would say. You're a deck of all trades. You have a lot going on, and I think that's pretty cool. Um, Now, when you speak on what you collect and how you collect and the meaning why, I see why it touched you in a way when you talk about them parallels that you look for, that that complete rainbow, and saying what you're saying about Panini and what they doing, like this is what you collect, that's major to you, that journey. What clicked for you that day to say, okay, this is what I want to start collect, this is the player, um and the reasons why?
So there's multiple reasons, and everyone it happens. So a lot of people don't know this, and actually there's very minor people. So this is going to be one of the first few.
Hmm.
Is I'm actually in published in a Beckett magazine as a super collector
Mm,
for Brandon LaFell.
right.
So back in 2011 products when he came out and everything, for some reason I kept pulling Brandon LaFell cards. It's just every box I opened or I was in break random team I would get the Panthers,
Hmm.
and I just all of a sudden had a million Brandon LaFell cards. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going all in. I go hard in the paint, everything all out, and I just was picking up everything Brandon LaFell I could. And of course, back then you could submit to Beckett like your super collection and stuff like that. And I was actually documented, and I have a copy in my garage with all my other hobby stuff
Mm,
of the super collector. It says Alex Tressler, super collector of Brandon LaFell. It's like those instances, right? I just so happened to I didn't really follow him. I wasn't an LSU fan, right, and everything. He just happened to just fall into my plate multiple times, so I was like, it went that way. With Pat Tillman, though, on the other hand,
right.
I have those military ties. And it's more the thought process of how many cards do these rookies have today? Right? There's thousands and thousands. There's so many different products and stuff. I have a person that I'm collecting because of the passion for the military, for our country and everything else. On top of he doesn't have as many. So the collection can only go so far because eventually, I could run out of cards to actually be able to have to get until I start getting, dupes and everything else of them. But it's the hunt for them are harder because they're not out there. Like there's all these shows I go to and everything. You're not seeing these cards in anyone's cases, and if they are, they're the downtowns, they're PSA
Mm-hmm.
10s, and they're outrageous prices and everything. And so that helps with that hunt. So yeah, I focused on that. And then there's other collections, right? I have other ones where the iconic type of cards. I have Walter Payton rookies. I have Clemente rookie. I have Bonds is my favorite player of all time, so I have multiple cards of him, right? And everything. So it all depends on your passion and you. Doesn't You don't have to listen to anyone else to try to have them convince you what your collection is going to be, right? It's whatever you want it to be. And it can be all base cards if you want. It can be the cheapest stuff in the world. It doesn't cost anything and but to you it's priceless. For some reason it's priceless to you and that's all that matters.
I love that, man. Um, it's supposed to be priceless to you. Like we always try to push. You supposed to, you love what you collect. Supposed to be a love
100%.
for it. You know, you definitely want stuff that's gonna stand the test of time. You want stuff to be meaningful to you, and especially if you in it for the long haul. You definitely got to have something meaningful coming your way, or some type of thrill, or just want to be able to complete a set or anything of that nature. So I think that's very unique of the aspect of like the meanings why, because I think a lot of people are missing that why in this hobby at times. We go for the big thrills, and that's cool, but at the same time, you know what the, what's the humanity part about about you and things of that nature, or just in general in the hobby. So I think that's pretty cool on how you broke that down. I think people can be able to relate from that. Not only that, learn something from that. Now, business wise, no, go ahead.
But yeah, but also to relate is like don't let anyone, make you feel bad if you have to sell some of your collection too. There's probably a reason. It's one of your cards, period, right? But maybe you're selling a card or a piece, doesn't even have to be a card, it can be something else, to get more for your collection, right? Or you're having tough times and you just have to move some stuff to be able to help, support whatever you need to support or whatever. I see too many times these days people are out there saying, "Oh, I thought you collect that. Why are you selling it?" and stuff. Like you don't know what that person's going through. You don't know what's happening. Like it's your stuff. Do what you want to do and you don't have to listen to everyone. And I'm saying this as someone that I put out content a lot, right? And and everything and I'm out there, creating it and stuff for to try to entice and try to help people understand things, whatever. But I'll always tell you, like, it's your stuff. Like, do what you want to do with it. And if you need to move some stuff, then we're getting into the business aspect, a little bit, then do it. Do it all day and don't let anyone make you feel bad about it.
Nah, that man, that hit home for me because that was like my first real introduction to the hobby for myself, not just with my father and collecting, but for myself. Man, I had went through a tough time in my life, and what I consider I had to sell my childhood. Some of my Kobe cards that I grew up with, or that my dad may have passed down to me. We all knew it in my family. I was going through a rough time in my
Mhm.
situation, so it's like selling my childhood has made me more pushed away from the flipping aspect because I want to be more of a collector. I try to get them cars back, but I know I won't get the cars back that I had as a kid. That meant a lot to me.
Mhm.
That's what that meaningful. Having the inspiration of wanting to collect, but it hurt me doing that because I ain't gonna lie. It helped me get myself back into an apartment. It helped me get back to myself in different situations, but at the same time, I just knew, wow, I will probably never come across them cars again. So, man, you hit home with that, brother. I didn't expect that to come from you real quick, but you definitely hit home with that. And
Don't say, hey, don't say never though. There's always that chance. Put that out in the universe. Let's get that juju. Let's you go to the next show and all of a sudden one of those Kobe cards is sitting there and you have the possibility to get it. We got to make that happen,
hey,
brother.
cross fingers, man. I'm hoping for that. Good juju's. That's the energy and the spirit that I need, man. And it also translates into business as well. Having that drive for the hobby because not only with you creating content, I feel like there's a business aspect. There is. Um, could you relate or maybe explain to the audience on how it is to like not only do what you love, but also, conduct business in many ways, whether if it's like with a car shop through promotions or whether if it's with a car show, doing content.
Mhm.
Feel free to elaborate on that. Are you looking to sell your collection? Well, guess what? You can co-sign your collection with Pristine Auction. For a limited time, Hobby Talk fans, check this out, have no commission, pay no commission, right? For the first 90 days, and you earn up to 110% on high value cards. You're talking about quick payouts and lower fees. And you can email sales@pristineauction.com and make sure to mention Hobby Talk. And for buyers, you can utilize the code Hobby Talk to get $25 off your first win.
All right, so coming from me and you talking to other individuals, and like, you know it because you know you're doing it yourself. It's different. I'm 100% different than most people because in the end, like this is still 100% no matter what a hobby for me. This isn't, my everyday life doesn't depend on it. Now, a lot of people might think it is because I'm posting stuff every day and I'm constantly doing stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's simple tip. It's bulk recording and having all of it loaded, waiting to upload it all time. And I showed you right, and my cap cut at one time. I think I have like 50, 60 videos ready to go at the drop,
Yes.
like already done.
Yes.
Right, so I mean, there's days I'll literally take like 5 shirts, a couple hats, and I'll make multiple things and like sit down for an hour, just shoot like 5, 6, 7 videos, and I might not be posting those videos for 2 months from now, right? So the business aspect for me, it's fun for me.
Okay.
All right, and I say this for the fact of I'm I'm getting these opportunities to do some of this stuff that others don't get to do, and I'm completely happy with just being in that environment. Now, the opportunities have been there for me to, bring it to that whole, aspect of, getting paid for this and doing stuff and partnering with individuals and everything. And I have, jumped on those opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, I just want to be in the environment, and the hardest thing for a lot of these is the logistical side. If I can get there, if someone can get me there, I will blood, sweat, tears, do anything you need me to do because now you've given me the ability to be there and be around all my friends, the community, and everything that we love so much, and I get to share it to everyone out in the world. Um,
Yeah.
it's opened up. It has opened up. They open up avenues. There's a lot of people that don't like getting behind the camera, right? But they have so much to prove. If you want to showcase something, you don't have to get in front of the camera. Get your hands in front of the camera. Show some other stuff. Be a voiceover for some things and everything else like that. Find your way that you feel could be a good avenue for some of these companies out there that they might not be doing right now. It's just you have to remember, like in the end, you got to be passionate for it. You don't want it unless you're going to do this every day, and this is going to be your job. Like, and still, then you should want to do it. You shouldn't want to have to wake up like, oh, I got to go to the card show again. Oh, I got to freaking record today. If you don't, guess what? If you don't feel it that day, don't just move on the next day. Go find something. Go for a walk. Do something. Get yourself in that better mood. But in the end, whatever works for you, just because they're doing it that way, and they might be getting more sponsors, this and that. Be proud of them. Give them their congratulations. Give them their flowers. Give them like I did in the beginning. Mr. International here, Doc, going about to be a Canadian citizen one day. He's living it up there. I'm trying my hardest. I want to get up to Canada hard, and because I really like poutine. I mean, it's some good stuff. Some gravy
Okay.
fries with
Okay. You know his
cheese curds,
stuff.
right? It's a good stuff up there. I was stationed upstate New York. I jumped over to Canada every once in a while.
Okay.
But yeah. So in the business aspect, Doc, it's whatever passion drives you, try to find that path and reach out to those other individuals, and the networking, that the ability that this industry has, of the ease of being able to talk to some people that do a lot already, get their advice from them, contact them, be like, I feel this, and maybe they'll be able to, put you in the right path.
No, that's great advice. Because I know there's a lot of individuals that's trying to find their way in this hobby. Even with me trying to figure out myself like 5, 6 years ago, like, what steps should I take? So I like how you broke down, not only that, if you don't, if you're not interested in being in front of the camera, you can also be behind it. You can also do voiceovers. You can also do just the editing portion of someone's content, a company's content, benefiting yourself in the
Mhm.
love and putting yourself in places that you usually don't be in, but finding that balance business wise as well. And that kind of helps catapult you in learning from anything from about different stuff about the hobby to different cultures, and traveling and everything in that aspect. So that breakdown on the business portion, definitely I hope someone takes something from this and jots some notes. I'm pretty sure someone's gonna be like, oh, okay. And not only that, shoot, hey, spark the mind of the person in the future, that's how I
Yep.
think what we're doing in this time and place right now. Somebody had to spark us to do what we're doing. So I congratulate you on that. And I'm hoping maybe we can do some more in Canada. I'm gonna have to talk to. It's a lot of shows. It's a lot of shows. So for me, even with CSC, I would love for you to come up there and check out one of the shows. Sport Car Expo is
I,
coming
I,
up as well. Do
I
do do
know.
do 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 do
I
do
know.
do.
That's one of the biggest ones. That's one of the biggest ones I want to try to get to. It up there. But it's more than that. I tell everyone, a lot of people focus, and this is going to kind of go off the beaten path, but we all focus on these bigger
Mm-hmm.
shows. Support your local shows. Support those small ones. Go find a 40 table show somewhere, 60 table show somewhere.
Yeah.
Support those local grinders, because you'll find some incredible collectors and vendors out there that are just, they're grinding themselves and starting small because maybe they can't afford, the $400 table fee or whatever at these bigger shows, whatever it is, and stuff like that, but they can't afford like the 25 to $30 fee and everything. But I say this for card show wise, right? Because I love going to them. That's why I constantly try to go to as many as possible. It's the river system. I give everyone the same analogy. River system. It all flows into other stuff. You have the smaller streams flowing into the bigger rivers. So you have the small shows going into regionals, and then the regional shows going to the bigger regional shows, which then turn into the national, right? Like, if you cut off these other ones, the other ones will eventually die. It's the same thing as the hobby as a whole for, the younger collectors. We cut off those younger collectors away from this type of stuff, like it eventually, it goes away. And in today's industry is a little bit harder to, for people to get away than it was back when we were a child, when we were younger. We didn't care about the money aspect when we were collecting when we were younger. I know I didn't, right? These days, you have these 10-year-olds coming up to your table with a house inside their freaking case, and you're just like, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, so they're probably not going anywhere anytime soon. They're going to be sticking around for a while, knowing that, that type of flipping type of aspect, or, they know they have some type of long term investment, right there themselves, which makes it, it shows, the evolution change is growing fast. I mean, it's evolving quick. It's gone down to, these kids are learning that economics type of aspects so young these days, especially in this
Yes.
industry, because of the wheeling and dealing that they have to do. So, I just want to say, like, go out there and support those local small LCSs, small shows everywhere you can. Go this weekend. Wherever you're at, just search for one. Use those websites and stuff to search for a card show and see one someone's close to you. And if you're within a few hours, go make the trip. It'll be worth your while.
Well said, my brother. Well said. I, I don't know if I could have even ended it off It's better as what is how you explained it, man. Yo, kudos to you and your journey, man, and the knowledge that you wrote down to these individuals that's gonna view this, and I think for you, you taking the right steps to be able to enjoy this space as much as you can. So kudos to you on that. Could you let the people know where they can find you and any information on yourself and what you got coming up?
Yeah, so if you want to go get a drink, I'm in Richmond, Virginia. Daryl's been here. He came down to
Yes,
Graybo
sir.
Sports Cards, for the opening for it. We had a good time here in Richmond, but anywhere on social media, could be TikTok, YouTube, but mainly Instagram, Army ATC 22. Go by Alex. You can call me Army. You can call me whatever you want. I go to a lot of shows on the East Coast. Man, the Philly show, the big one, is getting ready to happen. CSA, all around the East Coast, North Carolina, Virginia shows, and everything else like that. I'm going all the way up to Boston. First time going to be, going to a show up in Boston. I'm excited about that. In a few months, no, next month. Um, but I, I do want to say, like, you come to my Instagram page, my messages are always open. I tell everyone that, right? It's always open, no matter who you are, no matter what you're doing, there's always someone out there to talk to you. If you're going through hard times, or you think you're just alone, you're
Same.
not. Like, use this community, use this, the friendships that you get and everything else like that. Send me a message. Send me a message. And guess what? If I'm not following you, I'm one of those people. I'll go to my request once a day to see if anyone has messaged me on anything. And I have multiples every day. Every day I click on a couple and I'm talking to someone that just asked a question on a story or something else I shared or something like that. Message me. I will respond. I respond to everyone. Just if it's a question, no questions too dumb or stupid. We all started somewhere. But at the same time, like,